Welcome back to K-Drama Cycle, where we uncover the real stories, hidden emotions, and moments that go beyond the screen. Today, we're diving into the story everyone's been whispering about, the quiet but undeniable connection between Yu and Tian Xuning. It started as friendship, grew into deep trust, and now, fans can't help but wonder, has it turned into something more? Yu and Tian Xuning have always been known for their professional chemistry. From their first collaboration, the spark between them was impossible to ignore. But unlike many celebrity duos who chase publicity, these two seemed to find comfort in privacy. There were no loud declarations, no over-the-top displays, just a bond that grew quietly, away from flashing cameras. It all began on the set of a youth-themed drama where both actors were cast as best friends navigating life, dreams, and heartbreak. Off-screen, their friendship mirrored their roles. Yu, known for his calm and mature nature, often guided Tian Xuning through long shooting schedules, offering advice and emotional support. Tian, on the other hand, brought laughter and warmth into Yu's world, softening his serious edges with her lighthearted humor. As weeks turned into months, the two became inseparable. Crew members noticed their effortless comfort, the way they laughed between takes, how they shared snacks, and how Yu always waited for Tian to finish filming before leaving the set. At first, everyone assumed it was just friendship. But sometimes, friendship has a way of evolving into something far deeper. Fans picked up on their subtle closeness. Behind-the-scenes clips showed moments that felt almost cinematic. Yu fixing Tian's microphone, Tian laughing uncontrollably while Yu tried to stay serious, and those long, quiet looks they often exchanged when the cameras weren't supposed to be rolling. These weren't rehearsed interactions. They were natural, spontaneous, and full of warmth. After filming ended, both stars moved on to separate projects. For a while, it seemed their friendship would fade, as so many do in the fast-paced entertainment industry. But instead, it only grew stronger. Despite busy schedules, they stayed in touch. Yu was seen attending one of Tian Xuning's fan meetings quietly, sitting at the back, unannounced. A fan who recognized him posted, "He wasn't there as a celebrity. He was there as a friend who truly cares." The internet exploded with speculation. Was it just friendship or something unspoken that neither wanted to label? Neither of them commented, which only deepened the mystery. Months later, when Tian Xuning appeared on a talk show, the host playfully asked her about her best friend in the industry. She smiled shyly and said, "There's someone who's always there for me, no matter how far apart we are. I don't think I could have survived the last year without that support." Fans immediately linked her words to Yu. And when Yu was asked in a separate interview about people he trusts most, he simply said, "There's one person who understands me without words. We don't need to talk every day, we just know." The host pressed for a name, but Yu only smiled. That smile told the audience everything. Soon, the pair were spotted together again, this time attending an art exhibition. They weren't holding hands, but their closeness was clear. Yu carried Tian's jacket when she felt cold, and she leaned toward him when laughing. Fans described the energy as gentle, intimate, and real. It wasn't a staged publicity moment. It was something more genuine, two people sharing time, not for attention, but because they wanted to. Their friendship continued to draw admiration. While some fans rooted for romance, others respected their decision to keep it undefined. And perhaps that's what makes it so captivating. It's real, unlabeled, and deeply human. But the story took another turn when rumors surfaced that Yu had turned down a major drama offer because the production schedule clashed with Tian Xuning's project. Insiders claimed he wanted to be available for something else she was working on. When asked, his agency dismissed the rumor, but sources close to the team hinted there might be truth behind it. People began calling them the quiet storm, a bond that didn't shout but could still shake hearts. It wasn't about publicity or fan service. It was about timing, understanding, and silent connection. In recent months, fans have noticed subtle gestures that hint at something deeper. Tian Xuning once wore a bracelet during a live stream, a simple beaded design identical to one Yu had worn during a magazine shoot months earlier. When a fan pointed it out in the comments, she smiled but said nothing. That silence spoke volumes. Then came the moment that reignited everything. During an award night, Ziyu received an honor for his outstanding performance in drama. As he stood on stage, he thanked his fans, his team, and finally said, "There's someone who reminds me to stay grounded and kind. I hope she knows this award belongs to her too." The camera quickly caught Tian Xuning in the audience, smiling softly. She clapped, eyes glistening. That brief exchange melted hearts across Asia. Social media flooded with messages saying, "You can't fake that kind of emotion." Hashtags like Yu and Tian Connection and From Friends to Fire trended for days. Their relationship has become a mirror for fans who believe that love doesn't always start with a declaration. Sometimes it starts with simple, quiet companionship. They've shown that bonds built on trust, respect, and shared dreams can be stronger than any label. Insiders say the two still communicate often but prefer to keep things off the radar. They've learned from others' mistakes. Fame can destroy what feels sacred. So instead of public gestures, they choose private ones. Shared playlists, supportive messages, and quiet dinners with close friends. In one of Tian Xuning's interviews, she said something that felt deeply personal. "The people who matter most to me are the ones who see me when the cameras are off." Fans instantly connected the dots. Because for years, Ziyu has been that person, the one who listens when the spotlight fades. And recently, when Ziyu posted a late-night reflection online that read, "Some friendships are written in fire, not ink," it felt like a message meant for only one person. The comments were flooded with heart emojis and fan reactions like, "We all know who this is for." What makes their story so powerful is its subtlety. It's not about grand confessions or public romance. It's about loyalty, emotional intimacy, and the kind of connection that grows in quiet corners, away from the noise of fame. They may never announce anything official, but maybe they don't need to. For Ziyu and Tian Xuning, their story reminds us that sometimes friendship can burn brighter than any love story. And maybe that's the beauty of it, two people who found something rare, something strong, something unspoken, yet unmistakably real. Whether this bond turns into a lifelong friendship or evolves into love, one thing is certain, they've already found something that most people spend a lifetime searching for, understanding without words. Thank you for watching K-Drama Cycle. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories that dive deep into the unseen emotions of your favorite stars. Until next time, keep believing in quiet love, the kind that speaks even when no words are said. As the days went by, their connection only deepened. Ziyu and Tian Xuning found themselves spending more time together than anyone expected. What began as two co-stars rehearsing lines after hours quietly evolved into something unspoken, a rhythm, a comfort, a spark that neither of them could fully deny. People around them began to notice the subtle changes, the way Ziyu would instinctively look for Tian Xuning in a crowded room, the way she'd laugh a little softer when he was near, or how their on-screen chemistry seemed almost too real to be acting. Every shared glance, every small smile, every silent pause spoke louder than words. The production crew often joked about it, teasing them for being too in character. But behind those playful comments was a growing curiosity. Were they really just friends? Or had the lines between real and real begun to blur? Ziyu, known for his calm and composed nature, was suddenly more expressive. He'd bring Tian Xuning coffee before shoots, remembering her exact order. She, in turn, started opening up about her fears, her ambitions, and her life outside the spotlight, things she rarely shared with anyone. Fans began to pick up on their connection through behind-the-scenes clips. One particular video went viral, a moment when Tian Xuning tripped slightly during a rehearsal, and Ziyu, without hesitation, reached out and caught her. Their eyes met for a brief second, and in that instant, the entire internet erupted. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't rehearsed. It was real. Comments flooded social media. "Look at the way he looks at her. He didn't even think twice. That's love right there. They're pretending to be friends, but you can't fake that kind of reaction." Yet, amidst all the excitement, both of them remained silent. Neither confirmed nor denied the growing rumors. Their silence only fueled more speculation. But those who knew them closely said something had indeed changed. During late-night shoots, when everyone else was tired, they'd still be laughing. During interviews, their answers often aligned perfectly, as if they shared a wavelength unseen to others. What fans didn't know was that behind the smiles, there were moments of hesitation too. Tian Xuning had always been careful with emotions. She'd been hurt before by fame, by expectations, and by people who didn't see the real her. Ziyu, on the other hand, was the kind of person who held his feelings close, never showing too much, always waiting for the right moment. But one night, everything shifted. It was after a particularly emotional scene they'd filmed, a scene about separation and longing. When the director called cut, Tian Xuning couldn't stop her tears. Ziyu, standing beside her, didn't say anything. He just handed her his handkerchief. And in that quiet exchange, she looked up and whispered, "Why do you always show up when I need you most?" He smiled gently and said, "Because that's what you do for people who matter." Those words stayed with her. From that night on, their connection deepened beyond what words could describe. They didn't need to talk about it. They didn't label it. But it was there, in every lingering look, every shared silence, and every unspoken word. However, as their closeness grew, so did the pressure. The media started asking pointed questions during press events. Reporters wanted headlines, and fans wanted answers. Were Ziyu and Tian Xuning just close friends, or was something more happening behind the cameras? At first, they brushed it off with laughter. But behind the smiles, both of them knew they were standing at a crossroads. Choosing to reveal their feelings could change everything: their careers, their image, their privacy. But staying silent might mean losing something far more precious. The next episode of their story began quietly when Tian Xuning made a subtle post on social media, a simple photo of a sunset with the caption, "Some connections don't need words." Within minutes, fans began speculating again. Ziyu liked the post almost immediately. The internet went wild. And while no official statement was made, everyone who followed their journey could sense it, that what began as friendship had slowly turned into something deeper, something they both fought to protect, yet couldn't fully hide. Because sometimes love doesn't need grand declarations or public confessions. Sometimes it's in the way two souls recognize each other, even in silence. And for Ziyu and Tian Xuning, that silence said everything.